What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one. As we got those ladies on the set, ABC's If You back at it again. We got Sunny Hostin, we got Alyssa Griffin going at it, butting heads in this newest segment where things ultimately got out of hand, guys. I'm excited to get into it, so I'm gonna hop straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Watching Selena Gomez, what people don't understand is two things can be true at once. All of these conservative media pundits answered with, what about the violent criminals? Selena Gomez can feel compassion for people being deported. She has a very personal connection to that. Her grandmother came in the back of a truck across the border, and her father was then born in the country. She's born in the country. She belongs here. But that is natural to then say, God, it's heartbreaking to watch this. It can be heartbreaking, and she can still not be okay with violent criminals. And they keep saying in there, we're taking the violent criminals. Well, the point I made here at the table is they're not transparent about who they're bringing. They're knocking on doors, they're rounding up people, and they're not saying, if they broke down every person deported and said, we've got 16 murderers, 15 rapists, 13 repeat offenders, everyone in this country, including Selena Gomez, would say, bravo. But that's not what's happening, and they're not being open about it. So never condemn someone for showing empathy for another person.
That's right.
She doesn't have to.
And I don't feel like this is condemning or coming down on Selena Gomez for simply showing empathy. I think it's the selective empathy that we're coming down on her for showing. You know, where was this same energy towards Barack Obama, his administration, where they deported almost 4 million illegal immigrants? That part is where I think they're a little bit confused, and it's the selective process where Selena Gomez is only doing this because it's Donald Trump and it's the popular thing to do over there on the left. I don't know when they're going to get grip.
Never condemn someone for showing empathy for another person.
That's right.
She doesn't have to address Laken Riley, which is an awful, tragic story that happened here in this country. She can, like, it's not saying that she agrees with that to say she understands the plight of all of these people. So it's just a disgusting place we're at when we can't even recognize that.
1,200 deportations a day, but half of them have no criminal record.
Yes.
And wait a second, and the price of eggs is up. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, well,
Oh my goodness, guys, we don't know if they're criminals. I mean, how do we know if they haven't committed crimes in the country that they're coming from? We don't have these. They're unvetted, unchecked. And then for these folks, these loonies on the left, I mean, Donald Trump's been in office, what, 2 weeks now? And they're already complaining about the price of eggs, the price of the grocery store. But back in 2024, when we were talking about, you know, Joe Biden, his administration, and how the price of everything had skyrocketed, they were ignoring it, saying there was no big deal. The prices weren't too high. Now they're talking about, why hasn't Trump done something? I mean, the blatant hypocrisy is insane here, y'all.
Wait a second, and the price of eggs is up. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was
so
gonna say, well,
lost.
I mean, listen, the immigration system is broken. Most Americans agree. They disagree on the solutions. I think we need to secure the border. We need to streamline the process so you can come here legally, and it's easier to do that. I think immigrants make our country better. But I agree that
is it easy to do?
we need to fix the system to make it much easier. It can take years to become a citizen. It's a very onerous process. But empathy can be a two-way street because, agreed, of course, Selena Gomez has lived experience. She is going to feel something when she sees families potentially being separated. And on the other side, with Laken Riley, I think the issue here is people are like, well, why aren't you mad when an American kills another American? Of course we are. Of course we're outraged, it's evil, and it's wrong. What makes this so heartbreaking for people is it was avoidable. The system failed Laken Riley. That person should not have been here in the first place. They should have been deported because they are one of these violent offenders. And so a young woman, a young UGA student is not alive today because the system failed her. So be mad at both at once. That's something that's perfectly reasonable. But what I'm frustrated about with this conversation is anytime.
And look at Sunny, guys. I'm sorry to stop it, but I just always key into what these ladies around the table are doing. Look at that hate. Sunny Hostin can't even deal with the effects. I mean, that was an innocent live take, and Riley Gaines, Laken Riley. the way they just come across our border, the open border policies of Joe Biden. She doesn't want to hear it, but this was a blatant failure of the Biden administration, his open border policies. Look at her face, though, guys. It's sick.
At once. That's something that's perfectly reasonable. But what I'm frustrated about with this conversation is anytime we talk about border security in America and immigration, we act like it's uniquely American, racist, and xenophobic. Every nation on earth deals with this issue. I sat with then Chancellor Angela Merkel when she was discussing how many Syrian migrants she could afford to bring into Germany safely and economically. This is how every country deals with it. Canada and the U.S. have the largest unguarded borders in the world. So we need to also be realistic. How do we talk about issues everyone faces, do it in a humane way, make the border secure, but also people who want to be here for the right reasons can get here?
It's not possible because cruelty is the point with him.
Cruelty is the point with him, guys. And I'm going to bring up the most common sense just analogy with this. Think about this, guys. All these ladies here sitting on the side of the view, guess what? Their estate is guarded by what? A border. They got a big old border wall around their property. They lock their doors at night. Why are you allowed to lock your doors? All the Americans are allowed to lock their doors, gate and fence their properties, but our country can't lock its doors, gate its property. It does not make sense to me. The way they're trying to fight and go against this is so common sense. Like, once we unlock the doors for folks that have been vetted, screened, and we know they're not going to, commit crimes, or that we know they're not a past or repeat offender over in their country, but these ladies just want them to come on in and do whatever, live amongst our communities. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
It's not possible because cruelty is the point with him.
That
Cruelty seems to be what he's into.
A gate is cruel.
Like, let's show this happening. And when you keep showing pictures of immigrants being pushed out and maybe even pulled away from their children, the American people will have to look into themselves.
But 87% support deporting criminal undocumented migrants.
I don't know anybody in the world. I don't know anybody in the world who wants to keep the criminals. I don't know anybody.
That's where we should be focused.
Can I say something? Because
well, I mean, hey, as soon as you cross that border illegally, guess what? You're a criminal. You know what I mean? If I cross the border into any country illegally, guess what? That makes me a criminal of their state. They're going to take me in. So all these folks committed crimes that came across illegally. That's the point I feel like they just cannot get through their heads.
To keep the criminals. I don't know anybody.
That's where we should be focused.
Can I say something? Because,
here we go.
People are talking about criminals and immigrants being criminals. And I just want people to understand what the facts are and the stats are, is that undocumented immigrants are much less likely to have committed crimes than American citizens. American citizens commit more crimes than anyone who is undocumented. I also want to make the point that an undocumented immigrant is not a criminal because he or she is undocumented. That is a civil offense. So to call people illegals is, in and of itself, I think, xenophobic and racist.
Oh, my.
I do. And incorrect.
Guys, and they throw that word around. I mean, it doesn't hold much weight or validity anymore just because the way they toss it around, they label it on anyone that does not agree with them. If you're not going with their position, their ideologies, guess what? They're going to slap you with that word every single time. They need to take a look in the mirror, especially this Sunny Hostin, the way she throws that hate, that negativity on folks just because of the color of their skin. I don't know. It may be her.
I think, xenophobic and racist.
And incorrect.
I do. And incorrect. The other thing that I will say is that, to Joy's point, on Sunday, there were 1,179 people arrested. Only 613 of them were considered criminal arrests. That means that the rest appear to be either nonviolent offenders or have not committed any criminal offense at all.
Yes.
And so what we are doing, again, is we have decided as a country to demonize a certain type of immigrant, a certain looking type of immigrant. And those immigrants are either from Central America or Mexico. They are brown. There are a lot of undocumented immigrants here, about 40% of them who come from other countries that aren't brown. But we are not rounding them up. So we are not doing that.
Sunny Hostin is absolutely lost, guys. It is showing right here through her takes, her stances. She really thinks she's going to play the victim, the race card now to say that this is all, one reason is because, Donald Trump, his administration is prejudiced against one tone. That is not the case whatsoever. If you came here illegally, there is a process, a procedure in place. I don't know what we have to do, y'all. It really just blows my mind that these ladies cannot wrap their heads around that concept that Alyssa Fair Griffin explained so well. You gotta think, we got billionaires like Selena Gomez going on camera, recording themselves breaking down crying instead of actually helping. I mean, like, step up and do something. You've got all the means, all the resources, all the connections. Why don't you do something? Why don't you help out? You're so heartbroken. Why don't you step in and actually do something? She could start funding applications for these migrants. She could start hiring folks that are illegal migrants in order to get them in here legally, temporarily on work visas. There's so many things that can be done by these big star celebrities. Instead, they're using their platforms to show us exactly how out of touch reality in the real world they truly are. I mean, this is what the nation voted for, and we're not seeing anything being done differently or carried out than what was simply promised, messaged out there on the campaign trail by Donald Trump. And that's why we're seeing the viewership over there. Set of ABC's The View, it's tanking, going down the toilet. And I'm sure Selena Gomez lost fans, tons of them, behind the message that she just put out there, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also want to take this time to give a huge shout out and thanks to all the folks who made it this far in the video. It goes a long way. You guys don't even know, and getting the message out there to more and more folks. So thank you so much. Also want to give a heads up on the live for tomorrow, guys. Hopefully you've already voted in the community poll. Whatever time wins is the time we're going to go with. I'll give one more announcement and then we'll give it a go, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.